Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Let's talk about how to deal with stress and how stress causes your porn addiction or any addiction. But I know a lot of you guys are from my videos relating to semen retention, so I'm going to talk about that. Stress, guys, is can make things very hellish. Stress can make your life very hellish. You can have a very hellish existence due to chronic stress, everyday stress, right? So guys, typically a lot of our stress comes from two areas, right? Well, one, but it's from pretty much like two areas. So most of our stress is financial, right? So whether it's our family, right? Whether it's the fact that we struggle to provide for our family, or our wife or our girlfriend is complaining that, we don't have enough money to pay our bills. Whatever the case may be, stress is something that, or our addiction to something like pornography can be caused by chronic stress, right? So stress, for me, stress for me comes because I work in customer service management, right? So a lot of the times, I've had to learn over the past year, right? Because like I said, I struggled a lot, and I noticed the times that I was really in the pit, in the cycle of addiction, as it pertains to pornography, where it wasn't so much the days that I had all the free time in the world, because most people say that, men become addicted because they have too much free time, and that's true, but it wasn't necessarily the case for me. A lot of my habit, the porn habit that I struggled with for years, a lot of it came from stress. When I look back on it now, when I reflect and I think about the toughest times, it came from stress. It came from days where I would just come home and I had to deal with, angry customers, or I was dealing with gossip, or I was dealing with just petty human interactions, right? Like this person, it didn't necessarily have to pertain to me, but my employees would start fighting with each other. The pumps, right? Like the gas pumps would go down, and I have every customer asking me a million questions as to what's going on, right? And like I said, these are uncontrollable things, right? You can't control what happens, right, in an environment like that, right? People are gonna fight, right? Your employees are gonna fight. Things are gonna go wrong, but it's up to you how you're gonna deal with it, right? So you can deal with it the easy way and just go home and blow your load and have your fix in that sense, or right, you can deal with it in a more resourceful way, in a more healthy way, right? And what I've noticed, which as it pertains to stress, is the way I've dealt best with stress, right? There's many things that have helped me over the years, right? When I lived in New England, Massachusetts, right? That's a very cold environment. I would take freezing cold showers. That would absolutely, if I had a rough day at school, or I had a rough day at work, or something went wrong, or whatever happened, right? If I was overloaded with homework, right? And I just was feeling inflamed and I had a lot of tension, I would go and take between 3 and 5 minute cold shower, and that would completely wipe out all of the heaviness and the anxiety and the tension I felt, right? Because like I said, stress is something you feel. Stress is inflammation. Stress is, it relates to overthinking. Stress relates to just feeling like frustration and feeling anger, right? Not necessarily anger, but you just feel heavy. Like when you're stressed, there's a sense of there's something that's blocked, like your energy's blocked, right? So when you take a cold shower, that's just but one example, right? I did those for many years. I really can't anymore because it's so goddamn hot where I live. That completely wiped out most of the tension I was feeling, right? So it's all about coping in healthy ways. Another great way that I've been adopting recently, right? Because I was, for the past, guys, I'm gonna be real with you, the past couple years I've been working 60, 70-hour weeks. I haven't really been outside a lot, right? Even though I live in Florida, I really haven't been immersing myself in nature like I should. So, as of 3 to 4 months ago, I've been coming outside more, and I can definitely see a sense of change as it pertains to my health, as it pertains to like just feeling more calm, right? Like when I'm out here, you can even, yeah, I'm sure you guys can even sense it in my voice. There's a calmness that exudes from my voice that you don't necessarily sense when I'm making videos in my in my office, right? So nature is another way that is has a very calming effect on your being, on your mind, on your body, on your senses. And I think, some of you guys live in cold environments, right? So it's not going to be easy. And I know how in the wintertime, in those northern states, or if you're in Canada, UK, right, it gets cold and it gets dark at 4 in the afternoon. So it's kind of hard to get out into nature, right? Except for summer and fall, part of spring too. But do your best, guys. Do your best. It's so funny too. Back in 2020, right, when we were all locked down, I had a lot of time off because I didn't really want to go to work because we were forced to wear freaking masks, right? So I was like, you know what, man, I just didn't want to work because I didn't want to wear a mask all day. I didn't want to be bothered. So and that time period, right, it was very stressful. It was a very fearful time for a lot of us. I was outside a lot, even in the cold weather. It was like 30 degrees, right? 20, 30 degrees below freezing. I'd still go outside. And you know what's funny? During that time, on a little side note, when it was cold like that, I would go out, in the winter, it was sunny. Most days were sunny. They were cold, but they were sunny. I'd go out and I'd sit in my chair and I'd still get sunlight and I'd still have a tan. So I'm getting like a tan in 30 degree below freezing weather, right? So I made it a priority. You guys got to make your health, and as it really pertains to your health, you got to make your health a priority. And part of your health, I know I talk a lot about the gym. I know I talk a lot about lifting, pretty frequently. But guys, nature is like right up there, man. It is astonishing how many of us neglect. Like, guys, I come out here every day. The only time I see people, like, I'm looking at the pool right now. There's no one at the pool. And I know it's a weekday, so everyone's probably working and has other obligations. But it's like, dude, I barely see anybody outside. Like, I live in this community condo, and there's like hundreds of people. And I see probably the same 10 people every time, walking around the complex, or they're at the pool or whatever. And it's like, we as a species, we are neglecting a very integral, primal aspect of what it means to be a human, right? Because we evolved in the forests and the jungles and in the desert, right? So we evolved in natural environments, and it's only up until recent that we've been, living in cities, living in air-conditioned homes. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because having your own shelter is good, right? It protects you from inclement weather. But at the end of the day, man, you want to get outside. And like I say, I talk a lot about grounding. Grounding's another way. A lot of us are surrounded by 5G. A lot of us are surrounded by things that increase our inflammation. Wi-Fi, right? So you want to, when you're outside in nature, right, and you have your feet planted in the dirt, or you're exposed to the ground, the earth has negative ions, right? So those negative ions drain out the positive electrons that your cells accumulate through exposure to EMFs, right? Electromagnetic frequencies. So that's why when you come outside, you feel, and you get your feet in the ground, right? And you get exposed to the sun, you're breathing in the fresh air, right? Maybe you do some breath work. That's why you feel so good, and that's why you feel at peace, right? You want to feel content, guys. I'm not saying you're always going to feel good. There's going to be times where you are stressed out and you have to deal with it, and you have to just feel stressed out. Like when I was working 2 jobs, right? There wasn't much I could do because I had to make money, but I did my best, right? I did my best. And there's times in life, guys, where you're not going to have time to get out in nature. You're not going to have time to do these things. But if you can try to make it a priority when you can, I'm telling you, the effects are wonderful. There is so much benefit to being outside in the elements, even if it's just for 30 minutes or an hour a day. But recently, you guys see my videos. I've been coming out here pretty much every day for the past couple months, right? And I noticed, like I said, My urges have been very severely reduced to a great extent. And you know, a lot of the anxiety, a lot of the overthinking, a lot of the, you know, stress that I accumulate throughout my day at work, a lot of that gets completely discharged when I come out here. So I think nature is a great way to deal with stress and help you avoid self-sabotaging, right? So yeah, that's number 2. And then I've been doing a lot of Wim Hof breathing, right? So Wim Hof, right, has a breathing method where I don't know I've been doing it. I don't know if I'm doing it exactly correct, but I've watched tutorials in the past. Basically, you take 30 breaths, right? So you go like, so you do that like 30 times, right? And then on that 30th breath, you hold for like 15 seconds and then you release. So I'll do like 5 rounds of that. So it's about 10, 15 minutes. And as I get deeper into it, right, as I continue to do more rounds of that, my brain starts to secrete endorphins, right? So I'm pretty much getting high on my own supply, right? And basically what I'm doing is I'm increasing the pleasure chemicals, right, from a natural response, right? So I'm getting high naturally. I'm making my body feel better. I'm increasing the pleasure chemicals in my brain, right? So you guys want to basically do things that make you feel at peace, that make you feel happy, right, in a healthy way. It's okay to, you know, get dopamine from healthy sources. It's okay to get endorphins from healthy sources, right? Serotonin, right? A lot of your serotonin, I think it's like 80% of the serotonin your body produces comes from your gut. So when you're eating healthy, you naturally have a better mood, right? So guys, a lot of things can be resolved naturally. You know, changing our diet, right? Eating more fruits and vegetables. I'm not saying completely cut out meat, but start incorporating more fruits and vegetables, right? Doing things that make you feel good, right? In a healthy way, right? Which really, if I can boil it all down, getting back to nature, getting back to home is what's going to really help you deal with a lot of the mental health issues that we struggle with. And as a result of these mental health issues, this is why we're so addicted. This is why we're so sick. This is why we eat junk food all the time, because we've lost our natural touch. We've lost our natural our natural like our understanding of what really solves our issues, right? And like I said, healthy relationships, coming out to nature, doing breath work, right? Also, you know, I don't do it all the time because it's very taxing, but I like to run 30 minutes once or twice a week if I can, right? I mean, I work pretty much almost not every other day. I work like 6 days a week. So, you know, like I said, running 30 minutes and doing full bodybuilder type workouts is very taxing. So I don't run every day, but I do think you want to get in the mindset. This will really help you. This is really what the bigger picture of what I'm trying to communicate. You want to do things that make you feel good naturally. So running is one. Wim Hof breathing, another one. Cold showers, getting out into nature, walking barefoot, being exposed to the sunlight, breathing in the fresh air. I promise you, if you make those things, you don't have to do the same things every day. But let's say, for example, right, you come out one day, 2 or 3 days a week into nature. The other 3 days you go for a run. And then the other days you do cold showers, or you do some combination of those, right? If you're constantly doing those things, I can promise you, you are not going to be inclined to go watch pornography, because your stress is going to be solved, right? Your overthinking, for the most part, will be solved. Your depression that you claim you have will be solved, right? So that's really, you know, dealing with the chronic inflammation, dealing with the stress in the natural sense is really what's going to help you stop doing the self-sabotaging activities. Because we self-sabotage, guys, I'll tell you one thing. We self-sabotage, we watch porn, we do all this, you know, we play video games excessively, we eat junk food like that because we're running away from the pain. We're running away from our crappy job, our stressful job. We're running away from, you know, our difficult relationship with our partner. We're running away from the lack of meaning we have and the lack of purpose that we have in our life, right? So a lot of the things that we deal with, that we the ways in which we self-sabotage are a direct result to the things we're running away from, right? But if you can, like I say, deal with these things in a resourceful way by coming out to nature and doing things that are natural, I think you'll be on the right path. And I think a lot of your addictions, right, will start to subside over time. Because if you're feeling good naturally, if you're getting the joy, the happiness, and the sense of peace from doing things that are healthy, you're good. You know what I mean? Like, that's your habit. So instead of having a porn habit, have a habit of coming out to nature and walking or sitting down, right? Have a habit of doing 5 rounds of breath work. Have a habit of taking a cold shower, right? And do that every day. And I'm telling you, you will see improvement. If you don't see improvement, I don't know what to tell you. There might be some other underlying issue. But this is what's worked for me. This is how I've been able to really cope with stress in a healthy way. And, you know, stop self-sabotaging as a result of my stress and have a better way to deal with it. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.